I'm already stoked because you already clicked on my thumbnail and you're ready to watch my video. Topics today, we're pretty much just going to skim through. Since I've been skimming through, there's been so many, main events announced that make me so happy. I just jump right to them, like, oh, UFC 158. It's not for like another fucking 5 months, So why not just skip to UFC 157 today, since I've been talking so much about UFC 158 and Diaz and St. Pierre. We'll back it up to UFC 157, since time is, literally closing in pretty quick. The Monopoly of MMA starts us off with a fighter's fight card, if you will. I think it is, anyway, at least the main event. And UFC on FX Brazil, Belfort versus Bisping. The card itself, yeah, deserves to be on FX. Definitely no pay-per-view. But the people that I do know, and the people that I do know and can analyze, I did. Diego Nunes, I think this guy, he's part of the new breed. When I say new breed, I'm talking like Rory McDonald, John Jones, this new breed of fighter. Michael McDonald's up there, Hanan Barao, that can do, will do everything, and there's a whole slew of them, and they're coming. You never know what they're going to do, because, I mean, think back to John Jones when he fought, Jesus, so hard to remember his name, Stephan Bonner. No one knew that he was going to lateral drop Stephan Bonner. No one knew that he was going to throw spinning elbows and drop Stephan Bonner on his face. No one knew that shit was going to happen. Come from, some kid who has, a few fights here. But I mean, there's 100,000 John Jones in the world, and UFC's only found one. But thanks to shows to Ultimate Fighter and other organizations and fighters coming up, and they're learning mixed martial arts as a whole, we're going to start seeing a whole lot more of extremely well-rounded mixed martial artists, whereas they didn't just start in boxing and transfer over to wrestling and then learn some jiu-jitsu here and there. They learned it all together, and they did it right at the same time. Therefore, they can use they're masters at everything that you might need in that cage, and they can use those tools at any point in time, and they're incredible at using them. So, we're going to see a whole slew of them. And I believe Diego Nunes is about that far away from being one of them. Nick Lentz is his opponent, and he has great leg kicks. Fairly well-rounded. Me, I'm not a fan. I'm going to go with Nunes for sure. Napao Gonzaga. Gabriel Gonzaga's on the card with Big Ben Rothwell. Big Ben Rothwell, I know a lot about. I remember him from, he was the IFL, actually. Yeah, he was the IFL heavyweight champion for a while. The IFL was a very short-lived fight organization. It was on Fox Sports or something like that. But I used to tinker around with it. It was pretty cool. They actually had like coaches, kind of like the Ultimate Fighter, but they had teams, and the teams were named just like basketball teams. It was like the Arizona Snakes, in the Seattle Slews, in the Pennsylvania Peckerwoods, or whatever. I mean, it was so weird that these fight teams had names, and the coaches were like Don Fry, Frank Shamrock. It was very strange. And he was the IFL, IFL. He was the IFL heavyweight champion for a while. Napao, he was at one point supposed to be a heavyweight. He was supposed to be a heavyweight. God, I mean, the guy looked like he was going to carry the belt for quite some time. He was pegged to be, kind of like the future of the heavyweight division. And he was on a down scale. Everyone has their bad days, or bad times, and hopefully Napao can pick himself up from this recent down skid, or whatever you want to call it, and pick his face up and fight this fight correctly. I think he has the submission advantage, but I think pretty much everywhere else, Ben Rothwell's got the advantage, so my pick's Big Ben Rothwell. Daniel Serafinian and CB Dollaway. I think CB Dollaway, he holds the last one over Mayhem. He pretty much embarrassed Mayhem Miller, and anyone that beat Mayhem Miller. I mean, the last two fights that Mayhem Miller fought, I don't even know who that fighter was. I really don't. I think something really, really went wrong with Jason Mayhem Miller. I'm still concerned about Mayhem Miller. Reading his Twitter, yeah, scary. But he does hold a win over Mayhem Miller. He pulled a beautiful Peruvian necktie on Jesse Taylor in the UFC. Excellent, beautiful. You haven't seen it? Watch it. Tough alumni, but the other guy, again, new breed, fully well-rounded, and that's my pick. Belfort versus Bisping. Vitor Belfort, explosive, fast, powerhouse boxing, probably the fastest hands in the 185-pound division, and probably the hardest hitter in the 185-pound division. But Michael Bisping's not an easy target. Michael Bisping better wrestling, better all-around stand-up. What I mean by stand-up is there's boxing, like boxing, and there's Muay Thai, and then there's just pretty much what I mean by stand-up is mixing those two mixed together, boxing and Muay Thai mixed together, and keeping yourself on your feet also is what I mean by stand-up. And I think altogether, I'm going to give stand-up advantage to Bisping, the wrestling advantage to Bisping. I'm going to give the cardio advantage to Bisping, even though what shocked me was Vitor Belfort, even though all the shit he's been through and all the shit he's done and all these events and shit, he's 35 years old, Bisping's 33. So they're only 2 years apart. They're basically the same age, And I do think that, oh, by the way, Anderson Silva did just sign a new 10-fight deal with UFC. We'll talk about that in my next video. But he did name two of the top names were Michael Bisping and GSP. So even he's got his sights set on Michael Bisping, and I would love to see that fight happen. I think it's time for Michael Bisping to get his turn. And if he beats Vitor Belfort, especially in devastating fashion, he for sure should get it. And I think that I wouldn't mind watching it. I'd love to see it. And Lord knows everyone loves an upset. Moving on to what I want to talk about. Probably the most on this card is Lyoto Machida and Dan Henderson at UFC 157. How Ronda Rousey and Liz Carmouche are the main event. I understand that this is MMA history. It's UFC history, MMA history. It's the first women's bantamweight championship fight ever. Ever. Even Liz said herself that she feels like the UFC brought her in to lose against Ronda. And I have to agree with her. Putting them in the main event slot, the ticket sales aren't dwindling. They're just shitty. They're just not selling. The tickets aren't selling. The pay-per-views aren't selling. I'm not buying the pay-per-view. I'll watch. I'll just hear the results. I'm cool with that. I think I'm pretty sure what's going to happen anyway. I don't think Liz is going to make it out of the first round. Maybe I'm not giving her enough respect. Lord knows everyone loves an upset. So if she does pull off this amazing, miraculous upset, it'll be all over the internet anyway. But I'm not going to pay, for a 12-1 favorite ever again. I would not pay for a 12-1 favorite. Everyone knows what's going to happen. I think the only formidable opponent for her is Cyborg. Until that happens, I'm not that interested in seeing her fight. Anyway, maybe that sounds unfair and it sounds silly of me. Let me know. Comment on it. Anyway, Lyoto Machida and Dan Henderson being the co-main event. I think if they switched it up, I mean, Lyoto Machida and Dan Henderson, two legends of MMA. Machida's been around for fucking ever. Fought BJ Penn and K1, Christ, in 2004 or some shit like that. And Dan Henderson's just been around, UFC 10, something like that, 9. I don't think they were the double digits yet. And Dan Henderson was fighting. He fought for Pride. He had a long list of victims with that right hand. Michael Bisping being one of them at UFC 100. I think their performance, their fight will outshine Ronda and Liz. I think Lyoto and Dan will for sure outshine Liz and should be the main event and slide them down. I think if this is something that Dana's tinkering with, what he's toying with, this idea right now, he's just trying out WMMA and seeing how it works. He's just seeing right now if this whole thing works out. But reportedly, he did sign 10 more female fighters. So you have to be kind of serious about it if you're signing 10 more fighters, right? But if you're just playing with the idea, you think you might want to slide it down to, maybe not make a main event out of it. As of right now, this is the Ronda Rousey show. She's holding the reins to the whole goddamn thing. And I think until Cyborg can get down to 135, and I don't think it was a dumb idea to, if she can't make the weight and she can't do it healthy and come in there, confident, good camp, good shape, good cardio, she shouldn't fight Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's nasty. I do want to see more hands from Ronda Rousey, and that is something I did watch a couple of Liz fights, and she's nothing to mess with as far as striking goes. She's not a bad striker, not a bad striker at all. And Dan Henderson, Lyoto Machida comes in as a 2-1 favorite against him. But look, people are calling him one-dimensional. People say it's a fairly easy win for Lyoto. Let's not forget that fight last year against Hua. Dan Henderson isn't just a right hand. Dan Henderson's a fantastic striker, period. Just period. He's a fantastic striker. He could hold his own against anybody. Look at his record. Look at the record of his knockout victims. Yes, he does have one submission to his credit, and that submission is tap due to strikes. He likes to stand up and bang. Isn't that what everyone likes to see? Stand-up war? Yeah, of course. So this is what we're going to get. I mean, Lyoto Machida doesn't really engage unless he's pretty sure that he's going to get the best of the exchange. So it's going to be a very interesting fight, I think. But regardless, that styles make fights. I think those two clashing styles, Dan's incredible wrestling and his cardio has held up over the years too, especially being up in his 40s. His cardio has held up. He went 5 rounds against Shogun. He did start to gas out there in the 4th, and Shogun certainly got a 10-8 there in the 5th. But I mean, for being his age, his cardio certainly held up. He can more than hold his own on the feet. Not just the right hand striking, period. Leg kicks. I mean, he has excellent leg kicks. It's just he's not. I don't call Dan Henderson one-dimensional whatsoever. But I do think Lyoto Machida certainly has a lot more tools to beat him. Anyway, yeah, Liz feels like the UFC pretty much brought her in just to, just for someone just someone to beat, just for someone for Ronda to beat, and I kind of have to agree. I can see there has to be, other females out there that they could have brought in. But I don't know. I don't know. She's 2-2 in her last 4, 2 losses, 2 wins. So I don't know. I don't know. And then you got the armbar assassin in Ronda Rousey, 6 wins, 6 first-round armbars, and she's nasty. She's wicked. Her judo's incredible, and when she gets a hold of you, it's pretty much a wrap. Looking at that Kaufman fight, Kaufman didn't have a chance to get anything off. Not even a chance. She didn't have a chance to display anything. It was just incredible. Before I end this, I watched an awesome Q&A with Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He agrees that there should be another MMA organization. He misses WEC. So do I. I loved having the scaled down blue cage, the different announcers, Todd Harris and Frank Mir, and it just their set of champions and UFC set of champions. I like that format. I like that style. I do think that there needs to be 2 major organizations out there, and it's a shame that Strikeforce is crumbling this month. It's January 13th, so Strikeforce will be crumbling this month. And anyone update on Dream? If you haven't watched Dream's New Year's card, if you have not watched that card yet, you need to watch that card. It was an awesome card, filled with spectacular fights. But the Q&A with Donald Cerrone, I didn't know he was that candid. I didn't know he was that honest of a guy. He says it kills him to be 0-2 against Ben Henderson, and it looks like the winner on the 26th he fights Anthony Pettis, and I will get into that for sure. That's the fight I want to see the most this month, for sure. Out of any fight, even though Lyoto Machida is in my top 3, that's the fight I want to see the most this month, is Cerrone versus Pettis. I guess that's going to be a contender fight. So whoever wins that fight gets Benson. Gets Benson next. I mean, why not? It makes perfect sense. Cerrone has fought him twice. In my opinion, he won the first fight by a narrow margin, but regardless, he won the first fight. And we got a lot of people feel this way. He feel like he got ripped off of a decision, and then the second fight, he got guillotined the first round. So that was a pretty clear-cut loss for him. So why not make why not make a third fight for them if Cerrone can make it, and Pettis being the last guy to defeat Henderson, not only defeat Henderson in the last fight in the WEC, not only the last fight in the WEC, the last title fight in the WEC in the lightweight division. Benson defended his belt once, wanted to defend it and go out as the last WEC champion, and Anthony Pettis was just the man to spoil that, and he did it with that the Anthony Pettis super kick. So yeah, check that out. That awesome Q&A. It's about an hour long, but it's incredible. So if you have an hour, watch it. So thank you for your 15 minutes. Rate and please subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. I want to get up to at least 300 subscribers by the end of, but at least this quarter I want to get up to 300 subscribers. And not that I'm not happy with the subscribers I have now. I love you all. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for your 15 minutes. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about putting the females in the main event slot as opposed to 2 well-known 205-pounders in Lyoto Machida and Dan Henderson. Dan Henderson being a legend of mixed martial arts, fighting everywhere from Affliction to Pride to UFC. I mean, and Lyoto Machida, K1, being a former 205-pound champion, defending that belt against Shogun. Let me know what you think. Do you think that they made the right choice by putting Ronda and Liz in the main event slot, or could you think Machida Henderson would carry it just a little bit better? Let me know. Thanks for watching.